So we got Peter Ali with us, and I'm going to say hello to him. And, is it stuck in there? Okay, yeah. A little, before we get going, we'll do this, and we'll be right back.
KAOS and Ole Acoustic Fest present the 2015 Olympia Acoustic Festival, Saturday, March 28 from 1 p.m. to midnight at the fabulous Olympia Ballroom in downtown Olympia. All Pacific Northwest, all acoustic and all great. Artists include Stephanie Ann Johnson, Abby Grace, Globe Lamp, The Ole Mountain Boys, Cloud Person, Tobias the Owl, Willow and the Wolf, and Anna Gordon. 19 ear-charming performances in all. The 2015 Olympia Acoustic Fest, Saturday, March 28 at the Olympia Ballroom in downtown Olympia from 1 p.m. to midnight. Tickets at brownpapertickets.com. More information at 360-349-4427 or visit oleacousticfest.com. Brought to you by your friends at KAOS, 89.3 FM, Olympia's community radio, making your ears very happy since 1973.
1973. We've been here since 1973. That's amazing. I want to thank all the listeners for your support over the years, for all of us for being here. And so we have Peter Ali with us, and we're going to have him introduce himself. And don't worry, Peter, I'll turn around in 1 second. So give you a chance to introduce yourself. So here you go.
All righty. Well, hi, everybody. Yes, my name is Peter Ali. It's been probably a few years since the last time Brian had me come down. And at that time, I was living in Snohomish. And so it wasn't too big of a trip down this way. But, I think the last time I saw Brian and his family, there was at the Stillaguamish Festival of the River. And he's trying to get me to come down and stuff. So I've since moved further north instead of closer south.
Yeah, we saw you at Woodby.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
We're getting more and more, the Forcinas are starting to travel a little bit more. We were just up in Bellingham. We saw Swill last week with the Native Symphony.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. Was he with Paul Wagner?
Yeah. I mean, they were absolutely amazing. And we got there a little late, but we were there and really enjoyed what we heard. And I know that you travel with Swill a little bit.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, now we're kind of in the same neighborhood. And on the Honor Works office where he works out of is located in Bellingham. That's where I live now. I live in Bellingham now. I've traveled further north. And I'm working at Northwest Indian College. I'm teaching a how to make and play flute class. I'm in just coming to the end of the winter quarter, my 5th quarter there, so I'm pretty happy. I did, prior to that, 2 quarters at the Tulalip campus, and I can thank Renee Romanos, who got me in the door there, and then I ended up at Lummi now. And so it's I'm still a part-timer. I'm not doing flute making 40 hours a week, but hey, it's something. Yeah. And I'm giving more classes. Actually, the spring quarter's coming up, and I'll be doing more classes. So I'm pretty pleased with that. But other than that, just kind of traveling around in Washington State anyways, teaching playing the flute and playing music here and there and everywhere. And matter of fact, another reason that I'm down here today is to kind of promote a class that I'll be instructing next weekend at excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, the Arbutus.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Arbutus Folk School. And I think it's kind of a cool deal. I think we used to have one in Bellingham, a folk school. But so that school is going to have a flute making class next weekend. And let's see. And I'm going to be one of the instructors there. The Stewart family, who lives in Shelton, who makes stellar flutes, they'll be there as well. And if you're interested in taking the class, it's a 2-day class, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm also going to teach you how to play the instrument. And, of course, most of us who play the flute, we don't read music. I don't read music, and I taught myself. And so the tradition is you play from your heart. So it's been good medicine for me for the last 16 years. It's enabled me to do a lot of good things and also keep me grounded and healed. And it's just positive in more ways than you can imagine.
I know, you get to hang out with the Vile Indian.
Yeah, Swokenham. Yeah, I know. You know who lives a little closer to you now is Gene Tagaban.
Yeah. He was. I think he's just in Tacoma. I think.
Yeah, he's in Tacoma now, and as a matter of fact, he's doing a storytelling class coming up in Seattle, and so it's it's on Facebook. If you guys know him, you can check it out, and it's an all-day class, a workshop on storytelling and many aspects of storytelling, which I think is a good thing. And so, and if you come up to Bellingham on the first Friday of each month, Swokenham does First Friday program at the Lummi Gateway Center, and anybody and everybody's invited, and it's a free event. And so I think he's going to focus next month on poetry reading. So if you are a poet and you want to read your work, come on up there to the Lummi Gateway Center. So. But anyhow, glad to make it down here to Olympia. Thank goodness for my GPS.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling Peter, like the KAOS has moved actually a couple times. Like when they were renovating this building, we were in an annex over by the Longhouse, which I actually really liked it. We're on the lower level. You can look out and see the deer, and it's really nice. And we were there for, I think, about a year, maybe a year and a half. I can't really remember. But we're over there, and then we came back over here, but we were on the second floor when we moved, and so we moved to the bottom floor, which we have really sweet digs. I'll show it to you in a little while, but they renovated it all. We have a nice live studio over here behind us, nice. 2 production studios.
Wow.
It's pretty nice, and we got new management, Ruth Brownstein, who's from this area, which I'm real excited that she's here, and yeah, I mean, it's been, like you said, a lot of changes, and I'm still here, and I'm grateful that I am.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here too.
Yeah, I've been very blessed with sharing on the air here, and for myself. So so I know we got some things that you were talking about, but I won't, your music. I mean, I've been following you, whether you know it or not.
Okay.
So we following the music, and I've noticed that you've been composing more. Looks like you've been playing a little bit more different songs, and with different people, not just as well, but all kinds of different people. And you've been really on the go. He acts like he hasn't, but he's really been moving around everywhere.
Well, people go, that follow me on Facebook. I mean, and I don't do Twitter or some of the other social networking, because right now I'm like managing 4 or 5 different Facebook pages. That's kind of enough, which includes my personal page and a music page, and I'm an administrator on a couple different things. But yeah, I mean, I just recently went into a studio in Mount Vernon and recorded with a friend of mine, Becky Ben-Dixon, and she used to lead the group, the Alaskan dance, one of the Alaskan dance groups out there, and I can't even pronounce the name. They're from way further north. I mean, and they're on a hiatus right now. But anyway, she works with the state and also working with elders. And so she had this idea of the spoken word kind of thing she wanted to be put together to, well, it's kind of a health thing. In other words, just like if you go to yoga, and how if you go to a yoga class and the person who leads the group is, telling you when to take a deep breath and close your eyes and relax. It's kind of something along that line. And then her thought was, well, if we could record something like that with your flute music. And so I arranged to go into a studio and have her boss, Shelly's her name, and do all the speaking while I was doing the flute playing. And we got this whipped out in one day. And so it's about 30 minutes. And what they're going to do, or Becky is when she's doing this health program with elders throughout the state, that they'll get a copy of the CD, that they can take home and they can use as a way to relax and as part of a health program to stay active and keep moving. So it was a real positive thing. I mean, when she asked me about it, I said, yeah, how can you say no to that? And people have been asking me, when are you going to make another CD? And I have these 2 CDs that I, used to, sell whenever I'm playing at a gig. One is a recording in 2008 when I was lucky to get to open for good friends, Leroy Bell and his only friends out of Seattle. And it was at the Triple Door. So that got recorded. And then I had a friend, Renee Romano's, had a student. We did some trading, and she wanted to record her poetry with my flute, so we did that. And then the guy who was recording, who was a student at Northwest Singing College, recorded me solo, and that got made into a CD. So I just have those two things. So maybe within the next couple, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to go back in that same studio and record some songs that I've been long overdue trying to do, because everything costs so much money, and I finally have a little bit of funding and to do this. And so it's been, since I've seen you last, it's still struggling along as being a musician, and now doing the native flute workshops and teaching. And it's a lot different than what I was doing before. I was doing, telecommunications construction, which I'd been doing for 25 years. There's no work in the trade, and I just kind of had to reinvent myself. And a lot of my friends said, you should be teaching, and this is what you need to be doing. You need to be playing in it, and not so much just for me, but for the community, for everybody. And it's been a real positive. I mean, I couldn't say enough about it. Like I say, for a lot of people that I run into,
Well, your music is also, very healing, because it also healed yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And, was it 7 years?
It's been about 6-7 years since I had cancer.
Yeah, and so you're cancer free. Yay!
Yeah, I know. Yeah, cancer free. I was just thinking about that to do. I mean, I look at every day as a blessing, man. I'll tell you. And every day's a good day. Even if it's a bad day, it's a good day.
Yeah. And your music, I know, played a very important role in your healing. Because I know when I don't feel well and I play the right music, it just helps me move along.
Well, I heard some flute music. I don't know if they pipe it outside the building here, and I'm like walking around campus. I'm the only guy. I'm like, where's this place at? And I could hear flute music, so of course I was drawn to it. Yeah. And it got me back in the right building. I was on the wrong floor.
I'm excited. Maybe we get you to play one for us.
I would be happy to play you a song.
Yeah.
Let me reach over here. I'm gonna.
Which one? I hand to you.
The longest one right there. That one. This is for the radio people out there. This is I'm going to play with the flute that I have. I've had this guy for a while. It's a Lakota style flute. It's a plain style flute, and it's made by Guillermo Martinez.
Is that a loon?
It's a loon. Yeah, exactly. It's a loon.
I got a story about a loon. And
this is one of my favorite flutes. I've played this at many places. I've played at a wedding. I played at a memorial. I mean, I've played a lot of festivals, and it's kind of faded now, pretty well faded, but it was a few years ago I got to meet Buffy St. Marie, and I came up to her, because I got to be a performer at the Stillaguamish Festival of the River, and I said, hey, everybody's having their whatever autograph, the CD autograph, and I said, hey, will you autograph my flute? And she was happy to. She says, you have to play me a song first. So I got to play her song, and she really liked that. I got to see her a couple years in a row, and then it was probably a year after that up at Northwest Singing College at Lummi. I got to meet John Trudell, who stopped by, and it was really, really cool to hear him talk. Yeah. So I'm going to play you a song, and let's see what happens here.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What's the name of that?
That just came to me. So that's just from my heart. That's for everybody out there that's listening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not feeling good, I hope that will at least put a smile on your face and all. And I never really thought about, putting names to my songs. I'm going to work on it for my next CD, but it just makes it easier for me if I say I'm playing from my heart, then it's just, just the random song coming out. And that's what I try to teach my students, to play how they feel. And it just, that they all have it. I mean, the kind of people that I listened to that I was inspired by, like Carlos Nakai and Douglas Spotted Eagle and Robert Tricotti and Kevin Locke. I've heard some of these people I've actually met and talked to them. One of the first flute players that I used to listen to was Carlos Nakai. And, way before I ever met him, and I was kind of inspired by his music. I heard his music because it was on the soundtrack. I think it was Discovery Channel or History Channel. I mean, like 20 years ago, before they started playing all those silly reality shows. It was a documentary called How the West Was Lost. Yeah. And, of course, it was a great documentary. I mean, wow, I didn't know about half the stuff that they showed about how it really happened in when the Europeans came here, and how bad it was. And so his music, along with Peter Cater's, was added, as the soundtrack. And, when I would try to play, copy one of his songs just by listening to my ear, and it was real hard for me to do because it just bring tears to my eyes. Because in my head, I knew what the song was about. It was about the documentary and all the images that were painful, But, even in my own life, and as I tell people all the time, why do you play this instrument? Well, because it's part of my ancestry, and honestly too, I was going through a divorce 16 years ago in my second marriage. I couldn't do it once, folks. I had to do it twice, no more. Well, I could change my mind in the future, but anyways, so I was hurting, and so, a lot of people self-destruct when they hurt. Sometimes they go to drink themselves away or drugs or whatever. And I believe I had enough common sense not to do that, but I still hurt. And I heard a flute being played at a festival in Paulsville when I used to live on the peninsula. I walked towards it, and here's all these people selling art and stuff, and here's these flutes. The Stewart family was there and playing their flutes. I never knew this guy. He's Charles Littleleaf from the Warm Springs Reservation, and he was just playing their flutes, and I was so pulled into it. And he's just a great guy, and he gave me some words of wisdom. And I came back the next day. I had to hear him more, and then it was about a month later. I went to the Stewart's house in Shelton, and got my first flute, and I just taught myself how to play. And the music part, there was nobody to teach me how to read music. And I go, well, wait a minute. There's no people weren't writing music back in those days. They were just playing. It's like oral tradition, And so, I've just continued to do that. And I find it easier for me to play how I play. Yeah, sure, people go, well, hey, can you play anything we know? Well, I can play Oh Danny Boy, I can play an Irish tune, and I can play Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. I have to hear the music to play it, though. But anyways, the healing part of the instrument is like we said earlier, I had cancer. That was a big shock to me, obviously. Your mortality comes in front of you, and you go, oh, my gosh. And so, I had to go do chemo, and I had to sit there for hours and hours, and I was being treated up in Everett. But I said to the staff, I said, hey, look, can I bring my flutes in here and play if I'm going to sit here for hours? And they said, sure. So I played it, and I was in a room full of people with a variety of cancer, and I played for them, and I played for me. And, and I like what I do, but I felt like it was doing it for them. And so, I got through all that, and I thought, what, Creator, you let me stay. Let me stay here. And so I randomly will stop there at the cancer center that's in Everett, and they'll let me go in there, and I'll start playing for the people that are there with cancer treatment now. And I say, you have to be able to give back, and you have to be grateful for what I have. And it's made me a lot of things, humble as well. And that's important on this walk and this journey that I'm doing. I tell you, Brian,
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking with Peter Ali here at KAOS 89.3 FM. And, looking at the flute, and I told you I have a story, and recently Uncle Billy just crossed, and I met him, one of the first people I met here, and we were in a guy's house that's his sister's house, Jan Olmstead, and sat there with Billy, and Lakota George was there, and he pulled out a flute like that, and he's like, "It's a loon, a big loon."
Oh, wow!
And
wow.
Billy goes, "You a loon?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't like them to eat my salmon." I started cracking up, and I've been sharing it with people because it's that's the that humor and beauty that Billy had, and how he touched everyone. And like I don't play music right now, but I know that that's what we're all here for, to spread that love. That you can obviously tell that you love playing the flute and sharing it, and so it's I think it's a big thing, and music can heal you. I've talked to a lot of different people from all over the world, and I have a friend he's from Peru, and he plays music, but he'll tell you that he can pick up a flute or whatever instrument and play it, and he can go through the I guess the frequencies.
Oh yeah.
And it helps attune your body back. And I know because I felt it myself, like how when you're playing, like where it goes, and I don't know any, I'm not the creator, so I don't know anything, but I just know how it feels when I hear it and where it goes, and it's like right in your heart.
You're so right about that. We are frequency. I mean, everything around us. And I went to I was a yoga studio in Bellingham, and my girlfriend and I went to this gentleman who's from Canada, and he does throat singing, Tibetan throat singing, and the singing bowls. I'm sure y'all have heard about, singing the bowls and stuff like that. It's very Tibetan kind of. And I'm really open to a lot of different things. Some folks might go, well, that's kind of woo-woo. And hey, I'm okay with woo-woo, So we went to this thing, and it was some yoga involved, which is fine. It's good, and it puts you in another place, and you could feel it, especially the bowls. Holy smokes. It was just, and then the throat singing too. I'd never heard anything live like that, and it was really, really a cool thing. So, as far as music goes, there's so much out there culturally, even our own, that that we can share with other people, that is used for good ways and for healing. And I have to say that personally for myself, because I'm so mixed culturally. I don't have a one road to walk. I have many roads, on my father's side, on my mother's side, and I'm still learning, and who are we, and kind of thing. So it's been a great journey.
Absolutely. I think that, I don't know, myself being a Métis person, mixed blood person, that I'm grateful for that, because I can see both roads, but I do have a strong anchor in the old way, the red road. But I can see where, more and more as time goes, how important it is for us all to be at the table.
You got it right there. And since I moved to this state, because I ain't from around here originally, as they say, I came from Southern California originally. I was born and raised a child of the 70s, and my old work has brought me to I had to go where the work was. I'm working for contractors. I went California, Utah, Nebraska, and here, and this is home. And I have been welcomed by all the tribes here that I've had to work with, have been inviting, have been caring and loving, and sharing their cultures with me. Because my mother came from Sonora, Mexico, in Hermosillo, and that's the heart of the Yaqui people, and still is. And and I don't know very many Yaquis around here. I do know one, Anita Andrassi. She is an artist and storyteller who lives in Everett, and so because of my lack of knowledge of that, I've been given knowledge from other people and stuff. I love working at Northwest Indian College in the Lummi reservation, and I'm doing a class with Soxawaddle. I've been up there in Darrington doing a flute making class.
Amazing stuff. They just got an award for the governor and the Secretary of State for. I think it was Valor.
Well, yeah, I heard about that, man. Today's the day. They have the anniversary, I think. Today's a special day of remembrance up in Oso. And so, that's just coming in my head. I think that song was also for that, too, for any kind of a healing for anybody and all that. And any of you are listening, like I say, this class I have coming up next weekend, you contact the school if you're interested, and I'll be there for the 2 days, and love to see you. I'll be back down there. I'm going to spend the night, and then come back on Sunday. In the 2 days, I teach this class in a whole quarter at the Northwest Indian College, but we can do it in 2 days as well. And so you'll shape your instrument, and I'll inspire you to design whatever you'd like to do. But anyhow, that's a school that's up here. It's actually here in Olympia.
Yeah, it's Arbutus Folk School, Pacific Northwest Folk Craft School, and it's located at 600 4th Avenue East, Olympia, Washington, 98501, and you can call 360-867-8815 for more information at the school. And you said you were going to be there next week?
Yeah, I'm going to be there Saturday all day, and then Sunday to help the folks who've signed up to get their flutes. And I'm also going to teach them, give them kind of a basic lesson on how to get started. How to hold the flute, finger it, and to get notes and whatnot. The Stewart family, the people who are the makers of the kits, they will be there as well. And so I think the maximum is 15 people. But we might find room for if we need to, extra people. And I'm going to be teaching this class in Darrington if you're up that way in April. And I'm going to be doing the spring quarter at Northwest Indian College at Lummi. And so the Stewarts are the people who own Stellar Flutes. I couldn't say enough about them. They're family to me. They have allowed me to teach many people with the flutes they've donated to me. I've been able to donate flutes to a lot of charitable causes. We gave some flutes, about 3-4 years ago to the Madigan Army Base here up the street from you guys to give to the wounded soldiers. Stellar Flutes was instrumental in giving me the flute so I could do that. And just a lot of, like I said, a lot of positive things and such. And so, if you want to get a hold of me, Brian, of course, I'm going to tell everybody I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's just Peter Ali, A-L-I. And I have a music page as well. And I'm on YouTube, if you want to hear more of my music. I don't have MP3s or nothing like that. And my CDs, I usually have them with me.
He doesn't have them yet, but he will.
Yeah.
And his page, it's is this the one?
That is my music page, and it's got a middle name in it. So
Yeah.
which is I don't have a middle name legally, but it was given to me at birth, and then I don't know why it was taken away. But anyway, so
Now you're reclaiming it.
I'm reclaiming it. So
it's Peter. Is that Amar?
Amar, yeah.
Ali, American Indian Flutist,
flute player, yeah.
It's depending on what region you're from, and if you type in that, you could pull up his page and send him a message. So we have time for one more.
One more, yeah. Can you hand me that one right there? So I'm going to go switching over from plains to woodland. And a little story about this flute. This was given to me by a friend by the name of Lowell Newland. And Lowell Newland is a Vietnam veteran. And thank goodness he survived that. And he's I met him in Arlington many years ago. And I used to facilitate a native flute circle, several of them, with my old girlfriend Tammy Kennedy. And we really enjoyed doing this. It would bring community and people together. And we used to do fundraising for native causes and stuff. And we were very involved with the Sky Valley Indian Education Program and such. But Lowell would come to our gatherings, and he, a good friend, and he gifted me a flute. And he's Cherokee and Choctaw, just a great guy. And so he gave me this flute that I have in my hands right now. I'm going to play for you. And the story about him is that he used to fire a 50 cal machine gun during Vietnam from the Huey, which is a helicopter. That was his job. What I had been told was that you fire that gun long enough, the barrel gets hot, and when it gets too hot, it warps, so it's no good. So at some point, he was able to take one of the used barrels of this gun and fashion it into a flute. It actually worked. Now, I always thought, Indians are resourceful. Man, they don't waste nothing. And
Ingenuity.
Yeah.
Totally.
Ingenuity.
Yeah.
And, because if you go to the Smithsonian, I know that there's flutes that they have that are made from pieces of rifle, which is true. And the mouthpieces were made from shell casings and whatnot. But this flute, he made by hand out of wood, red cedar. And so I'm going to play this song. And Lola's still alive and well, but unfortunately he moved away to Florida. I still go, why would you want to go to Florida? So anyways, his brother was out there, and so this song is for any veterans that are out there in the audience or anybody who has people serving or that served in your family. This is for you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you, having me, to make your change your schedule a little bit for me to come down here.
I was excited. I was just, we'll just have to shift a little, a couple things. He's coming down. We have to see you. We haven't seen you in a long time, and it's good. It's good. That's what we're here for the people.
That's really good. Yeah. There's there isn't anything a programming like this up my way that I'm aware of. I mean, I know like Western Washington University, they have a radio station and stuff, and the play is it's kind of varied, a lot of different things, but nothing like what you do. And there used to be a native show on KSCR radio, another public radio station. Cheech One Road used to do the show, but he's left a long time ago. And I don't even know where he's at anymore these days. But there's nothing going on there anymore. So I think you're it, buddy. So.
I'm lucky. There's G.W. Galbraith, who's after me. He's been on the air for 29 years here in the Northwest. It's actually the longest running show from the Northwest.
Wow.
And then I met a guy named Art Durant. You know Art?
I've heard of the name.
He was just up at the Native... was it Native Wind? Is that what it was? Is that what they call that? I can't remember the symphony. Yeah, Native Wind.
Oh, yeah.
He was just up... oh, my God. That guy was so amazing to sat with him. He's been on the air for, I don't know, 25 years. And he's out of Whidbey Island.
Oh, wow.
And I just heard about him, and I think it's Turtle Talk. And, there's few. But I know down here, I feel grateful, KAOS radio, like, to me, there's no other radio station like it. Like, it's so diverse, and it's so, I don't know, I feel blessed to be able to sit in the chair, and that the elders and all our people feel safe to, like, to share with us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, to me, that's a big blessing that, you know, because I said it in the beginning of the show, and I mean this from my heart, like, if our people stop talking, we're done. We're all done as a human. I don't even like to use the word race, but the human beings are done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I really feel like that in these kind of sharing that's taking place tonight. Like, this is healing for people. And, like, your road, like, I think about it, you know, road back to your ancestors. That's what it is.
Well, it is. It's a connection with the people. And it keeps that open. You know, for a lot of us who want to know who am I, who may be wondering, and where am I from? Because a lot of people will say, oh, you know, they'll give me this Heinz 57 or they say mutt, you know, and I say, look, I'm not made out of ketchup, and I'm not a dog. I love dogs. I said we're more than who we are, you know, and stuff. And when people are curious about, because my obviously with my last name Ali, my ancestry on my father's side is North African, Morocco, and even his people are indigenous, the Berbers.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's where my flute player, my grandfather, was. And so I said, you know, my ancestors are from far away, and then some of my ancestors were always here. You know, and it's a continuing story.
Yeah, and this past weekend, you're gonna love the synchronicity. We were just sitting at a cafe, and this lady came up and sat with us, and her daughter teaches at our kids' school at Lincoln, and she joined us, and we started talking, and she's Puerto Rican and Moroccan.
Oh my gosh!
And then the lady next to us she was Moroccan and Northern European, and we were all talking, and like it was amazing, you know, like the synchronicity, all the ancestors in that little corner. I just think it's great, and you see the how we're connected, you know. Like,
well, it is. I mean, I could never find anybody like me, honestly. You know, with my mix of people, you know, and there are some people that say, well, you should be with, you know, your own people or whatever. I go, well, good luck with that, you know. And the people that have come into my life, I don't care what color they are. They're people that I love and I care about. And I would say that about my son. My son from my first marriage is Irish and English. I mean, his ancestors on his mother's side came over on the Mayflower. And that's just the way history played out. But, you know, I love my son, you know, and my adopted daughter, who is Inupiat. Her name is Cheyenne Schaffner. And, you know, both my kids, and Maximilian, my son, and, you know, my daughter is Inupiat, German, and English. And so, I mean, we're just, you know, a mix of people.
Right, and it's like Roger Fernandez once said, and I said, what can we do, Roger? He said, if we all get back to the indigenous roots, we can all talk. And that, because we're all part of the indigenous roots. And once we get there, we can see this interconnectedness that's there, and we're not, I don't want to say just human, but we are human being, and that's first, and that's why Trudell, that's why I love him when he says, you know, America, I'm older than that concept, you know, because we're older than that concept. We're the human being, and you go to anywhere on the planet, and you ask the people who they were, they will tell you they were the people. They're not, you know, these colonized names weren't there. You know, and so we have to go deep. And one of the things that I'm learning over the last couple of years is we really have to dig deeper and see that humanness in us, and know that the deepest wound is with indigenous people.
Oh.
And we have to heal from that point.
Very much so, and it's ongoing.
Yeah.
It really is ongoing. So any way that we can, you know, if we have gifts and talents, yours is what you do here. Mine is I speak through my flute, and it helps, and it heals, or whatever. Whether it's you're singing or drumming or you dance or what, these things help people, a lot of people, whether you know it or not, to heal in one way or to connect with something that they thought they lost. So I mean, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. Hey, I was wondering if I could get you to say that up there, your name and the idea of that.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well My name is Peter Ali, and of course I'm happy to be here as a guest with Brian's show. And you're listening to KAOS 89.3 FM in Olympia.
All right, cool. And so, do we have time for one more song before we go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Let me thinking. You give me the Lakota flute again. I'll do the loon again. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
All right, and thank you for being with us here this past hour, and really enjoyed it, and hope we can do it again sometime soon.
Well, I hope sooner than later, and not several years down the road and stuff. So I'll be down in Olympia again next weekend. Come and see me. If you want to find out where I'm playing or I'm collaborating with Paul Wagner or Swilcanum or anybody, you can only find me on my Facebook page. That's the only place I announce what I'm up to. So come look for me and be my friend. So
yeah, you'll be at Arbutus next week. What's the time again?
I think that goes from 8 or 9 in the morning till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So it's kind of an all-day thing with breaks and such. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first collaboration with an organization like that in Olympia. And prior to that, actually, I was down here doing a class with the Olympia Waldorf School. And I was working with their 4th and 5th graders, so I want to give a shout out to the Waldorf School out there. You guys were great for hosting me and whatnot, and I hope maybe I'll see some of your parents are come to the class. Who knows? So yeah, it's just great making some great connections down here in Olympia. So if you get a chance, come up, see me in Bellingham.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to be in the schools. You know, Swill will be coming to our kids' school next month with Honor Works.
Honor Works, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's important. Work that you're doing, and I appreciate you doing that, and we will keep in touch. You haven't got rid of me.
No, well, thank you very much for what you do and KAOS Radio, 89.3 FM here, and so I appreciate all that you do. And remember, it is your public radio station, and they're supported by everybody out there listening. So if you can, support them.